Hi y'all, I'm Tamara with I'd Rather Be Stitching, and welcome to my second FlossTube video. I'd like to start this video with an FFO parade, which is a fully finished objects parade. These are things that I've made in the past, but I gave them away as gifts, so I wasn't able to share them with you in my previous FlossTube video. So now my husband knows how to put pictures in the videos, so we're going to do this now. So the first one, which he'll put right here, is, it didn't have a title, I just called it Shalom. This is one that I did from the Cross Stitch magazine, number 44 from 1997. It had no designer listed. This was not full coverage, and it was the very first one I ever did that used the metallic floss, and it was the DMC gold, which I really didn't like working with because it pulled apart a lot and it twisted a lot. Since then I found out that apparently the acrylic is supposed to be better, so I will try that the next time I have to use a metallic. But this is one that I finished in 2012 and I gave it to our rabbi. The second one, which will be right here, is called 7 Species. It's a cooler design by Nancy Rossi, and this one was done on 14 count Aida white. This is the first full coverage piece I ever did. It took me, I think, about a year and a half, and then I got the custom mat done at Michael's, and then we gifted this to a friend of ours. And this one was done in 2013, and I don't remember all of the, for all of these projects, I don't know most of the fabric counts, I don't know the colors or most of that stuff, so I'm just going to give you the information that I do have. The next one is a bookmark that I did for a friend of mine who was the branch manager at the library in a neighboring town. And this one was a kit, but I don't know the brand or anything like that. I know that it had 3 butterflies, and I just did the 2, and then in the middle I have, I put a message for my friend, because I have a lot of different, what are they called, books with letters and alphabets and all that stuff. So I just went through one of those, I picked one that I liked, and I added it in place of the 3rd butterfly. This one I think was an Aida 18 because it was very, very tiny holes. So I'm estimating that it was an 18. And that one I finished in 2019. The next one I did for my in-laws for their 50th wedding anniversary. It's a pattern from Etsy, and the shop name was STG Stitch UK. Again, I don't know the information for the material or any of that stuff, but I finished this one in 2020 and gave it to them for their anniversary. The next one is a project that my youngest son actually started when he was young. All of my kids, I tried to teach them how to cross stitch, and so he was no different. He wanted to learn. He picked one of these from the Book of Minis, and he worked on this, and then when he moved out a few years ago, he joined the Navy, and when he moved out, he gave it to me, and he said, "I'm never going to finish this. Here you go. Will you please do it?" When I started working it, literally all he had not done was the head, the tail, and the back stitching. And I sat down one day, and I think it took me like an hour to finish it. And then it originally said timber, but that was kind of not appropriate anymore because he was no longer a kid. And since he had moved out and he was on his own, I put Call Your Mom instead and turned it into a magnet for his refrigerator. So that's that one. The next one I did is a bookmark for one of my current friends. The strawberry pattern came from a magazine, a really old magazine. I don't have the information about that. But I think originally it was to go on a towel or on a little strip of fabric that you would put around a basket. but I liked it and I thought she would like it, so I put it on this bookmark and I gave it to my friend for her birthday, and that was in 2022. This next one is called Family Tree. It's a pattern by Nikki Pattern on Etsy. I did this for my older son when he and his wife got married and had 2 children. We, this was their wedding sampler, I guess it's called, but it has the date that they were married and the name of them and their children. So this was 14 count Aida, and it only used the 3 colors of floss, so it was a really simple pattern to do, but it still took a while because it was 126 stitches by 165, so it wasn't super big, but it took time because I had to do their names and then insert them and everything. And then the last 2 are just things that I hand embroidered onto my clothes. The seahorse was a free DMC pattern, and I put it onto a pajama shirt that I have because it's a tagless t-shirt and I can't tell the front from the back because the taglessness is all scruffed off. So I put the seahorse on the front so I could tell which is the front, which is the back. And the daisies were just, it was a picture that I found on the internet, and my husband printed it onto the waist fabric for me, and then I stitched it onto my jeans. So those are the only projects that I have that I took pictures of before I got rid of them. Otherwise, I know that I've done other things in the past, I just don't know what they are. Sorry, one second. I have cheat cards. Okay, so this is out of order. This last one is actually the oldest one that I did. It was a unicorn. It came in a kit, so I don't know anything about it. But it was for my sister. It wasn't full coverage. I do remember that. And then we got the custom mat done from Michael's, and it was done in a color that was to match the darker color of the roses. So, so I did that. It came with a little cheap plastic pink frame, but I didn't use that. But yeah, so that was the oldest one I did. That was in 2002. So I will try to do better in the future about keeping things and hanging them in my own house, and also about taking pictures of everything that I do so that I can have a record of the stuff for y'all. So, good news. I actually have a finish to show you guys. It's not fully finished, but this is what I worked on almost exclusively for the month of September. This was the sampler that I told you I did. It was from the Some of Their Stories website, and I actually made a lot of changes to it. Let me see if y'all can see this without it flopping over. This up here was an alphabet, which I cut out. And originally this hold fast, that which is good, was down here, but it was offset. And then there were some smaller flowers right here, and I didn't like it because it wasn't balanced. And it didn't have the scripture reference here, the 1 Thessalonians. So I moved the quote up to the top and put the scripture reference. And then down here, I decided to put family because that is one of the things, in my opinion, that's good and we should hold fast to. And also, on this side, I think it was this side, there was a dove and a few other little tiny tilly bits that I don't know what they were supposed to be, but I left those out and I turned the dove into a heart to match this side again so that it would have balance. So that is what I did. I actually really enjoyed doing this. I don't know if y'all remember, but I don't normally like samplers, but I thought this was a lot of fun. So I mostly stitched on that for the past month. And that was from Some of Their Stories website, SUM. The second Oh, no, that's the only finish I had. Okay, so for my whips. The first one is the Autumn Splendor from Country Stitch Magazine. It was the September-October 1991 issue, and there was no designer listed. This one, I don't know the size or color of the towel because it didn't have that information on it. And we'll put a picture up here of what it looked like last month. So you can see mostly all I did was I finished this leaf here and I did most of the pumpkin here. So that's that one. And then the next one is the Jan Lynn kit, the Peaceful Shores. This is just all the floss and material that came with the kit. I did very little on this. In fact, we'll probably have to put in a picture that's very zoomed in because all I did was a little bit of cloud up in here between the words. That's all I did this month. I'm really procrastinating this one. Because, as I said, mostly all I did was the September sampler. I really mostly am a monogamous stitcher, so when I really got into that sampler, I wanted to finish that one and not worry about the other projects. And I actually finished it, I think like the 5th of October. But, okay, so, exciting news. I made my very first project bag. Because usually I just keep my projects in a wicker basket, but ever since I started watching FlossTube, I've really liked the project bags that everyone has. But because I stitch on a budget, I had to make my own. So I followed a tutorial that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch had on her YouTube channel. And I'm not a very good sewer. And I'd never done vinyl before, so I messed up one part of that and had to redo it. And I've actually only ever done a zipper once, and that was about 14 years ago, and I had supervision. So, but I really liked the tutorial she did. It was very simple. She made it look a lot easier than what it actually was for me, but I have a completed bag, which is the best part, and I have pieces cut out and ready to sew for 2 more, so hopefully I'll have those done by my next video. Okay, I have a new start, which I am super excited about. This is what has had my attention lately. This is called Castle Homecoming. It's by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and it's a current stitch along that they're doing now. I started it late. They had already released the first 5 clues when I started, and the 6th one actually started today. But I am almost done with the very first clue, and I just want to shout out Kat from Catkin and Lily. She is the one who brought this to my attention, and I really am having a lot of fun in stitching this because it's all bright colors and it's little small motifs, so it feels like a quick win, you know, whenever you do something. This is my first cross-stitch stitch along, so I didn't realize that when you joined the stitch along, it wouldn't show you what you're going to be doing ahead of time. So if it hadn't been for Kat's video, I wouldn't have purchased this because I don't want to go in blind and buy something because, as I said, I stitch on a budget. So I want to shout her out and thank her for showing it on her video because otherwise I would never have purchased it, and I love it. And also, this is my very first needle minder purchase. Prior to this, I have only made my own, so I just wanted to show y'all some of the ones that I had made in the past. These are just buttons that, well, the first 2 are down here, and my husband just snipped the buttoniness off the back, and we attached some neodymium magnets to it. But then after I saw what he did, I got more cute buttons and did it myself. And I would have a bunch more, but I ran out of magnets. So I need to get some more magnets. Oh, and these, a couple of the things that I really like about this stitch along, all I bought were all I bought was the pattern for it. But included with the pattern, it had the sheet, which hopefully will come through. It had a sheet with all the skin conversions, so you can change the skin colors for any of the little people. You can make it whatever color you want. So I loved that about it. And also, as part of the file, it had these shields for the floss drops. So I was able to print these out, glue them on to this little thin cardboard, and then make my own little floss drop doohickey. So I love that about it. Okay. So I want to mention that I do actually have 3 other works in progress that I haven't shown in either of these videos because they are gifts. And I know that if I show them, then the people they are for will be watching and see them. And I don't want to spoil the surprise. So in the future, when I finish those, I'll let y'all see what they are. But otherwise, the only other thing I want to share is my upcoming plans. There is a stitch along that I just found out about from, it's called Suzanne and Thomas's FlossTube, and Thomas mentioned it in their video. He is going to possibly do this, he said, in the future. And I had to look it up for myself because I was really intrigued. It's called Stitch Your Own Adventure, and it's Wandering in Middle Earth. So you get to basically stitch your own hobbit hole and other things that they haven't released yet, so I don't know what they'll be. But it's from the Cunning Cross Stitch Facebook group. So if you join their Facebook group, then I think the guy's name is Stuart. He gives you the patterns for free. And my daughter and I are actually both going to do this. We already have the material and the flosses ordered, and we're waiting for those to come in, and we're both going to be starting this. And she's going to join me in a future video because she actually cross stitches too, and she wants to share some of her stuff with y'all. So that is actually all I have. I know it's a short video, but like I said, I mostly worked on the sampler and the Castle Homecoming, which I really love. So before I go though, I would like to mention a few of my favorite FlossTube people, so that y'all can maybe check them out if you're interested, or you may already know them. Some of my favorites are Catkin and Lily, Amy Loves Toads, and a couple of new ones that I really like are the Red Cross Stitcher, the Rocking Chair Stitcher, and Mrs. Smith Stitches. Oh, I really love Running with Scissors, the one with Jane. I think their names are Jane and Julie. I love them. And I love the Recovering Monogamous Stitcher. So those are some of the ones that I watch. I know I'm forgetting someone. Oh, Cross Stitch the Globe. They're sisters. They're new also. So maybe y'all can go check them out and share their videos with other people so that they can get some more views or whatever. But thank you for joining me today, and I will see y'all in about another month. Bye, y'all.